Hello, my name is Gabe Williams, and today I'll be presenting an article titled The Link Between Personality and Success, specifically in how it correlates into aspects in our textbook with personality and other management principles. So let's look at the main points. Okay, so this is main points. That's not what I meant. Let's move on. Okay, article main points. So firstly, you can see that extroverts are statistically more inclined to have higher paying jobs compared to introverts. Now this makes sense, right? If you're someone who goes out of your way and takes risks and is a very talkative person, you're more inclined to go meet new people and seek opportunities to better yourself, right? As an extrovert, compared to an introvert who's more reserved and shyer, doesn't really go seek out those opportunities, right? So that moves into our next point, where people with more self-confidence are more inclined to have more prestigious jobs and feel that they are rewarded for their hard work. So people who are more self-confident are typically extroverts, right? So if you have an extrovert who is very self-confident, knows that their work is quality work, then they are going to want to be rewarded for that work. Compared to introverts, they're kind of the opposite, where they will put in work, but they don't feel as if that they're going to be completely rewarded for that work. And so therefore, they're less inclined to put 100% of their max effort into their work because they don't feel like that they're going to get anything back from their managers or their superiors, unlike extroverts. So our last main point of the article was that both types, introverts and extroverts, have some sort of issue in management. And we'll touch more on that later, but for now, just a basis. It really, if you have introverts and extroverts in a team, it can be difficult to hear both sides' opinions, which you want, So how does this relate to class specifically? So first, chapter 1, introverts and extroverts in a team setting can impact team performance behaviors. So team performance behaviors introduced in chapter 1, an important aspect because as a team, as a manager of a team specifically, you want to do well, right? So if you have introverts and extroverts in a team, there can be a lack of communication. If you're in a meeting and you have introverts and extroverts, you can have extroverts dominate the conversation. Only their ideas are being heard because introverts are either scared, they're intimidated, or they simply just want to stay quiet. They don't want to express their ideas. But as a manager, it's our job to make sure that their voice is heard, because if we don't want to hear their opinions, then why are they on the team? So they're on a team for the reason, right? So our next point, how this relates to class, is that extroversion is one of the big 5 personality traits. Now this is introduced in chapter 3, that these 5 traits are kind of the basis of what defines a person. And extroversion is one of those traits. So that's important. It's a direct correlation to chapter 3 and how extroversion and introversion it's a big factor when determining what kind of person you are. So the last statement on how this relates to class is that extroversion is an individual difference trait. So an individual difference trait defined in chapter 3 is something that makes you different from someone else. And extroversion and introversion can be one of those things. So again, another direct correlation. It's a definition on how someone is, qualitatively or psychologically different from someone else. And extroversion or introversion can be that individual personality trait. So how does this relate to me specifically? So as you can see here, I have me, sophomore year, actually at High Point, visiting one of my sisters most likely. But this was a time in my life where I was very much an introvert. I didn't go out and seek new opportunities. I didn't have a lot of friends. I wasn't really involved in my high school. I was very much an introvert, and I didn't really, I wasn't given opportunities, and I wondered why people weren't coming to me with these, cool things, because one, I wasn't seeking them out, and that's something that you have to do as an introvert. So transition, physical transition, and in my senior year, I'm a very different person. I shift my outlook on life. I say, hey, I need to be the one to change my own life. People aren't going to change it for me. So senior year, I am more involved. I'm talking to more people. I have more friends, and people are starting to come to me, not only to ask for my help, but I have faculty coming to me looking for me as a leader. So I have, I'm given the opportunity to be a swim captain. That's great. I'm given the opportunity to run for senior class officer, which I got, which was an amazing opportunity, right? I became an NHS leader, so I'm leading service opportunities and helping to plan prom, right? So I'm taking on these leadership roles because I'm more of an extrovert now. I'm more outwardly taking risks, finding these opportunities, and the largest of this opportunity was I emailed the principal himself, went out of my way to ask him, and I said, hey, I want to give a speech at graduation. Do you think I could? Because my best friend was the salutatorian, and I knew he didn't want to give a speech. So I said, hey, I see an opportunity, I'm going to take it. And it's very uncommon for me, especially to speak in public, like a classroom, to speak in front of my entire graduating class and teachers, faculty, and parents, right? So this was a big step for me. But however, I am so thankful that I became an extrovert, right? Because again, recapping, extroverts they're given more opportunities and they reap more benefits because of it. Compared to an introvert, don't get a whole lot. So I hope this kind of clears up how being an extrovert can be different from an introvert, but still both are needed. So thank you.